I was maybe half a block from my driveway when it happened, one of those moments you don't forget even if you try. I had just picked up my son from baseball practice. He was in the back seat scrolling on his phone, and I was thinking about nothing more than dinner, when a golf cart with flashing yellow lights swerved across the road and stopped dead in front of my truck. At first I thought, okay, maybe kids playing around, but then I saw who it was. Denise, president of the Greenfield Estates HOA. Clipboard in one hand, oversized sunglasses on even though the sun was low, and two rent-a-cops standing on either side of her like she was running a border checkpoint. Before I could even shift into park, she shouted, "Turn around. You can't come in here without approval." I leaned out the window, trying not to laugh, and said, "Denise, I live here. That's my house right up the street." She shook her head, lips tight, and one of her guards stepped closer, holding up this laminated badge that honestly looked like something printed at Staples. My son whispered, "Dad, what's going on?" And that's when I felt this switch flip inside me. I told Denise, "What are you talking about? I went to pick up my kid, not sneak into Area 51. She snapped back, "You left without notifying us. That's a violation of Article 7, Section 3. I just stared at her, because it sounded like she believed every word. She waved at the guards, "Turn him around." That's when I grabbed my phone, hit record, and said calmly, "Touch my truck, and you'll be explaining to the sheriff why you're impersonating law enforcement." Her voice went up an octave. "This is HOA property." I pointed past her at the faded County Road sign and said, "No, Denise, this is County Road. Public. I checked when you tried to find me for parking in my own driveway last year." She froze, just for a second, but I caught it. The guards hesitated too, suddenly less sure of themselves. I leaned out again, kept my voice even. "Move your cart, or I'll wait here with the cops while you explain why you're blocking homeowners from their own property." For the first time, she didn't answer. I eased the truck forward, slow, and she finally jerked the wheel of her golf cart aside. I drove on, but I knew right then it wasn't over. The next morning, coffee still in my hand, I called the county land records office. A woman named Carol pulled up the original subdivision plat. She didn't even hesitate. The HOA only maintains the streets. Ownership belongs to the county. She emailed me a certified copy within 10 minutes. I printed two, one for my records, one for Denise. And then I drove straight to the sheriff's department and filed a formal complaint with the footage from both my dash cam and my phone. Detective Harris called me back before dinner. "Mr. Allen," he said, "what you've got here isn't just overreach. It borders on unlawful detainment." He told me one of those so-called guards had a prior conviction for impersonating an officer. My jaw clenched. This wasn't just Denise being Denise anymore. This was dangerous. Harris said they were opening an investigation into HOA finances and the security contracts she kept pushing through without a vote. By the time the next HOA meeting rolled around, the video of me being blocked had somehow made the rounds online. Neighbors showed up early, the clubhouse packed tighter than I'd ever seen. Denise sat at the front table, gavel in hand, sunglasses perched on her head like armor. She banged it and barked, "This meeting will come to order." But the room didn't quiet, it got louder. "Where's the budget report?" one neighbor shouted. "You haven't shown us numbers in over a year," another added. Denise snapped, "We are not discussing finances tonight." That's when I stood up from the back, walked slowly to the front, and laid my certified county plat map right on the table. Beside it, I set down the notice from the sheriff's office, confirming an active investigation. "You don't own the road," I said, my voice steady but carrying over the crowd. "You never did. And using our money to pay fake security guards, that's financial misconduct. Possibly criminal." Denise reached for the papers, but I slid them just out of reach. The treasurer and secretary sat frozen, eyes darting toward the floor. From the back, someone yelled, "I move to suspend the president." Another voice followed, seconded. I turned, scanning the crowd. Hands shot up, dozens of them. Denise tried to shout over the noise, "This is not a valid vote. I am still," but I cut in, "Not anymore. The bylaws allow for emergency suspension if there's evidence of misconduct, and there is." The treasurer stood slowly, almost whispering, "I agree with the suspension." The secretary followed a second later, "Me too." Denise's face flushed crimson, her hands trembling around that gavel like she wanted to throw it. That moment right there, the air thick with tension, the neighbors finally united, Denise cornered with no way out. That was the climax of a fight that had been brewing for years. For once the power dynamic flipped, and everyone in the room felt it. Now, what happened after that? Let's just say the story only got bigger, the investigation went deeper, and the consequences, well, you'll have to watch the full video to see how it all played out. So tell me, what do you think? Was Denise just drunk on power, or was there something more behind her obsession with control? Have you ever had to deal with an HOA or a neighbor who thought they could run the block like their own kingdom? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your own stories, and let's talk about it. Because sometimes the battles closest to home are the ones that matter most.